How debt mediation gets you out of debt. Debt mediation is a type of debt relief program that involves negotiating with your creditors and debt collectors. It may or may not involve a debt professional to help out. It is another term for debt settlement or debt negotiation, and it is quite helpful for people who are facing lawsuits for defaulting on payments. When you are in a financial crisis, one of the things that you will have difficulty with is paying off your creditors. So what can you do when you are left unable to keep up with your payments? That is quite simple. You aim for debt reduction. This is when debt mediation comes into play. If you have begun to default on your payments because you are in a financial crisis, you make it worse by not doing anything. But instead of leaving your debt and trying to ignore it, you will need to put aside some money to grow as your settlement fund. This is what you will use later on when you try to negotiate with the creditors. As you go on defaulting on your payments, your creditors will start to call you to persuade you to pay your dues. When you reach 90 to 180 days without sending any payments, the creditor will pass on your account to a collections agency. If the collector is not successful in getting you to pay, the chances of you going to court will be higher than ever. But lawsuits are expensive, and debt collectors and creditors usually try to avoid them if possible. And that is why there is room to mediate. You have the option to start negotiating with the collector with the settlement fund that you have been growing on the side. You will tell them that you have money, but it is not enough to cover the whole balance. You will tell them that you are willing to pay this lump sum amount, but they must agree to have the rest of your debt forgiven. This is risky, but you can be assured that neither the creditor nor debt collector will be enthusiastic about going to court. In some cases, you haven't offered the settlement fund, and the collector suddenly files the lawsuit against you. Do not panic, because you have 30 days to send your response. There are also instances wherein the lawyer of your creditor or collector will open the settlement negotiations. Either way, you need to be convincing so your creditor will accept your settlement offer. Just do not promise to pay more than what you can really afford. Also, refrain from sending payments unless you have the signed document from the creditor or collector. This document must show that they will forgive the remainder of your debt as soon as you have paid the settlement amount. Now you know the basics of how debt mediation can help you get out of debt.